Good morning, y'all. I'm Connie, and you're watching Connie Creates Life. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, thank you so much. If you wouldn't mind giving me a like and subscribe. I don't know why I said that, everybody else does, so probably works. Let's try it. Anyway, thank you for joining me. We're not going to create anything today, but I'm going to show you some stuff that I have created, and it's alive. So that counts, right? Okay, let's get to it. So it is a beautiful, sunny April day in Texas. I'm in zone 9B. It's 77 degrees, and it's about 11:30. And this is the sight that I see every morning when I walk out my back door. Is that not glorious? If you watched my first video, you saw when I planted this probably about a month and a half ago, and look at the growth, y'all. Look at the growth. It is absolutely amazing. Even the weeds have grown. I still have to take care of that. Anyway, let's do a little update. So we've already picked some strawberries. About 3 of them. I have some more that are coming on. That one's turning red, and I have quite a bit more down in here. Now these are everbearing, so they're just going to produce a bunch of fruit all year long. My red onions are doing well. I planted some flowers here. No clue what they are because my little sign wore off, so I don't know what they are. Anyway, I do have mushrooms growing in my soil, which I'm just going to leave them be. That's a sign that your soil is happy. What I actually planted in this bed, so these flowers, I'm doing a square foot gardening method to start off. So it's packed full of stuff, packed completely full. I planted in every square foot, there's going to be something different. This is a purple bell pepper. Here's another one. And if you'll see, I've already got babies coming on. I've got blooms on most all of my pepper plants. This is a pepperoncini. Never grown those before, but I do have a baby coming on right there. I have another pepperoncini here. Like I said, this, and I didn't say, but I'm experimenting this year. I've never done square foot gardening. So I'm just putting all the things in and see what I get out of it. But anyway, I started this pepperoncini and this pepperoncini in my greenhouse. Most of the stuff I did start in my greenhouse. But I don't think they're getting enough sunlight here. So these might be a fail, but we're going to let them go throughout the summer and see what we can get from them. I have 2 tomatillos planted in here. Now, I've never grown tomatillos. I didn't really research on tomatillos, on their growth habit. But they're huge. Absolutely huge, and I've got flowers all over them. So we'll see what we can get. I'm dying to make some green salsa with those. In between these 2, I have sunflowers. These are the mammoth sunflowers, so they are going to grow very, very tall. And before I get past these, I planted pineapple ground cherries and Aunt Molly's ground cherries last year. And whenever I redo my raised beds, I just add more soil on them. And I grow my ground cherries in pots, and you'll see those in just a minute. But I just dump the soil out of the pots into my raised beds because they do sink throughout the season. So I just dump those in and put fresh in the pots and add more fresh in here. But I have some volunteer ground cherries, and I'm just going to let those ride. I did not plant these here. I have 2 of these right here, and they're probably going to be the Aunt Molly's. I actually started pineapple ground cherries this year. These I bought the mother plants as starts last year. So we're going to leave those be and see how they work. Before I leave over here, y'all, these are store-bought green onions that I put in there probably last September. And they are flowering. I'm just going to let them be because I like how they look. So on my arch trellis, and I hope you can see with the sun, I have a cattle panel here. And on each side of it, I have planted tomatoes. And if you can see, look how tall they've gotten. These tomato plants are probably about 3 foot tall. So they're huge. They're getting really, really big. And I have 4 different tomato plants here. This first one is a beefsteak tomato, and I want y'all to look. Can you see that beautiful tomato? Is that not gorgeous? This is just a regular beefsteak. And then I have another one that put off a huge blossom. And I think it was 3 of them together. I don't know if you can actually see it. There it is. Normally you would pull those off, but I'm just going to let that ride and see what it does. This next tomato, I believe, is a sweetie cherry. Yep. And look at all those babies. All the way down in there. I think I have a blush berry and a brown berry and honey drops. And then this last one is Aroma. Beautiful tomatoes all over these plants. Now I have been picking the armpits, which are what grow in here. You see the scars there. I just cut them off because those armpits will form a whole new plant, a whole new stem to produce tomatoes. And since they're so close together in here, I kind of wanted them to not be so bushy. Now I missed a few, like this one. That's an armpit. So it's putting off a whole new main stalk, and it's already flowering. I'm just going to leave it be. On the other side of my arch trellis, I have more tomatoes, and these get morning sun comes from here, and afternoon sun is here. So that is north, and that is south, east, and west. So they're getting their good morning sun right now. This is another beefsteak tomato, and it's got tomatoes all over it. That right there, I don't know if you can see it. We'll get a better picture on the other side, is a honey drop. Look at the shape of those. More peppers. This one is a tame jalapeno, because I like the flavor of peppers. Oh, I have some peppers on. Let me get away from the leaves so you can see. Right there. I like the flavor of jalapenos. I just don't like the spice. So I've got some thyme right here, and oregano, and basil. I've already harvested that. Some of it anyway. I'm thinking that this might be another ground cherry. We're going to leave it be and let it ride. More marigolds. Cilantro, more strawberries, and this kale plant I planted in September of last year, and it is just getting huge, but that's okay. We'll make some zuppa toscana with that. Some more red onion. That is another pepperoncini pepper, and I believe that might be, nope, that's a banana pepper, a sweet banana. Let me see if I can get you in closer to these tomatoes. Those look like they're going to be so delicious. And then I have another Roma tomato on this side. And there's flowers all over it. And some tomatoes right in there. Let's go over here. Look at that gorgeous bed. Right here, I have sugar snaps. Right next to that, I have pole beans, green beans, and more tomatoes. I think I have like 20 tomato plants, 20 to 25, something like that. Right down here, I have another beefsteak, I believe. Yeah, it's a beefsteak. And this is what I'm talking about, the armpits. You see, they grow right in the armpit, I just pick them out because we don't need another main stem. I want them to grow straight up. My green beans are flowering. Look right there. I love it. I cannot wait for my sweet peas to put on some flowers. That's the prettiest part of it. And my green beans have gone up. I have some lights strung through here. My green beans have attached themselves to my light strand, which is perfectly fine with me. Right next to that is another Roma. I use a lot of Roma tomatoes. And there's a lot of tomatoes on here, y'all. We're going to be eating a lot of salsa, making a lot of tomato sauce. There's another armpit. Sorry, I'm seeing these as we're going, y'all. I'm just picking them off. But do you see this right here? A windstorm came through and I tied it up, and I tied it too tightly and I broke the stem. But look at those beauties right there. And there's some more up here above the break, and all of this is above the break. It's still doing just fine, and that was over a week ago. Doesn't look like it's hurting it at all. The next tomato I have is a honey drop. Look at those babies. I love cherry tomatoes. I really, really do. I like coming in the garden, just picking them off and eating them straight. This is a blush cherry. And look at the shape. I think this is the same as the one from over there. And all these tomatoes are intermingled. What I'm trying to do is cut the bottom leaves off, because you don't want your tomato leaves touching the ground. And if I see them touching the ground, like I really need to come through, I'm just going to snip them off. These foliage branches, it's not going to hurt them to snip them off. Just get rid of them, and it keeps the blight away and the fungus. So, and this last one, what is here? That is a yellow pear. So, oh, they're getting long too. That's pretty cool. Anyway, and around the back of this, y'all, I'm watching the ground while I'm walking because I saw a snake back here last year and we don't want that. So, back behind here, I'm doing a little experiment because in Texas, it gets really hot. Really hot, and my cilantro and it all bolts before the tomatoes come in, and I want to have cilantro with my tomatoes and with my onions and my peppers all at the same time so I can make fresh salsa and pico de gallo. So what I'm trying to do is protect this. Let's see, this is parsley. My cilantro is down here. But I'm trying to protect it to see how long I can keep it alive. See if I can have them coming in and ready to harvest at the same time. So we'll see. I got more basil back here. These things, we have caterpillars so bad, and I don't want to spray them with anything. I know I could use insecticidal soap, but I'm trying not to spray them with anything because I'm hoping to be able to share. I'm feeding my family with this and share it with my grandbaby, and I don't want to put anything on there that's going to hurt her. I have more red onions back here. I don't know how well they are going to do with all this shade, but we'll see. Like I said, 2020 is a year of experimentation, learning new things, just like this YouTube channel, and seeing where we can get with it. All right, this next bed, all of these tomatoes I purchased. Because I wanted some heirlooms. So this first one is a black creme. It's an indeterminate, which means it's just going to keep going and going and going. All of this is coming from the neighbor tomato because I was picking armpits. And I think I picked the wrong thing and picked the main stem instead of the pit. But I'm letting one of the armpits come out right here to see if I can get some more height on it. Now, I don't know what's going on with the curling of the leaves. They're all doing that. But, I mean, it's still growing. It's still flowering. So, I'm just going to let it be. This next tomato plant is up to probably as tall as me. of course, it's in a 2.5 foot raised bed. So it's probably about 2 foot, 5'8". So it's probably a good 3 feet tall, but it's getting pretty tall. Pretty tall. And there's another armpit. Sorry. Get distracted. Let me see what the name of this one is. This is a yellow pear. Let me pick these growing at the base while I'm down here. The next one is Cherokee Purple. Now these are all, I call them beefsteak varieties. They're all the large slicers. And this last one, look at the difference in the leaves. Here's the yellow pear. And here is, what is this one? Brandywine. It looks like a potato vine. It's pretty cool. But everything is blooming. Everything is growing. Super happy about that. Now, more banana peppers. I've got peppers all over this, y'all. So excited about that. This next one is getting overshadowed by these tomatoes. Which one is this? This is, and I just broke it, California Wonder Bell Pepper. I'm going to put that back in there. This one is a tame jalapeno. That's probably another tame jalapeno right next to it. Yeah. My eaten up basil plant. And another banana pepper. You see all those back there? Looks gorgeous. This is my cilantro. And I've already harvested some of this. I used it for dinner the other night. That's not cilantro. That's parsley. Is it? I don't know. Nope, that's cilantro. All right. Have oregano and have some sage and some more thyme here. And, of course, more strawberries and onions. Trying to see where everything grows the best. Okay? Now, my ground cherries. Not everybody knows about ground cherries. I learned about them from watching Roots and Refuge Farm. Justin Maya doesn't like tomatoes, but he loves ground cherries. So these are they're in the tomato family. They're in the nightshade family. But they grow like tomatillos. Can you see that? It's in the husk. But inside there is a tiny little cherry. Now they're going to get great big, and when they fall off, you know they're ready. And they taste kind of tangy sweet. Garden snacks. That's all they are. You can make jam and jelly and stuff with them, but I grow them in pots because I can control them a little bit better, and they're kind of precious to me. I'm trying to make sure I get all I can out of them. And of course more basil, because who doesn't need tons of basil? Next we have, I'm sorry, that's another ground cherry, and I have another one right over there. Next we have strawberries, and these are the Chandler variety. They are June-bearing strawberries. You have different types of berries. Some are ever-bearing, and they produce all year long. Some are June-bearing. Now, the June-bearing produce larger fruit, and they produce a bunch all at one time. The ever-bearing produce a few throughout the year. So you'll have a few berries on there all the time. These produce a ton all at one time. Nice large berries. And they put out these runners that are whole other strawberry plants. If you'll look, I'm going to leave these on here until they produce roots. This one already has some roots on it, but we have another shoot coming off. There's shoots coming off absolutely everywhere. And what you don't want them to do is root into the ground, because I am going to take those and plant them in another planter over there by my greenhouse. So I'm going to try not to let them root into the ground. But each one of these is a whole other strawberry plant. And I'm going to take and plant that, and it should produce strawberries in June of this year. More strawberries up top. They're just perennial berries. And they have berries on them. I have some lemon thyme in here. And then more berries up here. Now, this used to be my succulent pot area. And I tried growing squash and zucchini in the goat pen. My kids raised show goats and does for the fair for several years. So it was really good and fertile soil. And they grew really well. But it was out of sight, out of mind. I didn't see it over there, so I didn't take care of it as good as I should have. I didn't weed it. And this is the only area that I could really plant in ground and let them go. So I moved all my succulents. That'll be for another video. And I just planted, I have yellow squash, zucchini, and then that, I believe, is a butternut squash. And then 2 more zucchinis and a yellow squash down there. My yellow squash are doing so well. I've got squash all over them, blooms all over them. The zucchini have not started producing yet, but they have flowers. This is my butternut. It's been flowering also. Another zucchini. There's another one, and here is another yellow squash. And that one, I'm going to let it get just a little bit bigger, and we're going to have that for dinner as soon as I get enough. And then that is my rosemary plant right there. Now, like I said, year of experimentation. I've got herbs everywhere. Now these, if you'll see, were started and transplanted the exact same day as the others. They don't get very much sunlight, so they're going to have to be moved. Here is another set. Same place, same type of soil. Not same place, they were planted at the same time with the same type of soil. And they're doing much better. So, location is key here. And then I have some zinnias and some Shasta daisies and some purple Jew in here. And these are my cucumbers, y'all. I have them growing up in arch trellis. My mama gave me that. Have them on both sides. I planted 3 on each side. And I planted dill in with them because, you know, what goes better with cucumbers than dill? And I've got a cucumber. Love that. More zinnias, more purple Jew, and more cucumber. Let's see if we've got any cucumbers coming on here. Right there. Don't know if you can see it. Let's look down. Anyway, more flowers, marigolds. I forget what those are called. Anyway, and this was another experiment. This is my herb garden, and I have cilantro, and this is the cilantro, and parsley, and oregano, and sage, and basil, and y'all, purple basil right there. And I bought one little 4-inch pot of mojito mint, and it has taken over this half of this bed. I'm gonna have to take most of it out and put it somewhere else. It's loving this spot though. All right, couple more places. I don't know if y'all get the same thing. I don't know what kind of ants these are. I'm about to show you this other in-ground bed that's another experiment, and it's kind of gross. These ants fly in and they dig holes in your yard, and I don't know how to get rid of them except for ant poison. I really don't want to put that on my garden. So I'm gonna try. I've got the heebie-jeebies just looking at them, y'all. Anyway, okra. Something ate them. I had 4. I have 3 left. Do you see these nasty things? My gosh. But I have one that's producing okra. I forget what these are. I think they're eggplant. Yep, that's eggplant. Do you see what they do? Look at the holes they dig, and they just go inside the holes. Why? I don't know. I don't know what they're doing in there, having a party or something. But they need to go to somebody else's house. My house is closed for parties. I need social distance. Oh my goodness, look at them. It's horrible. I don't even want to touch this. I need to get in here and just scoop them out. I don't really want to show y'all this. It's killing me. Look at how bad. Anyway, this is the sun that this gets. So it doesn't get very much sun. This tomato is a beefsteak and it gets it in the afternoon and a little bit of noontime sun. So it's doing okay. All right, now over here in front of my greenhouse, y'all ignore the mess. I started way too many of everything. And I could not let them die. So I just put them all out here. So I have sweet bananas and tame jalapenos. I think that's another eggplant right there. Oh, I have butternut squash. Look, how cool is that? 1, 2, 3. So excited for that. So excited. This is the best performing pepperoncini pepper I have. It's all leaning to the side. We're going to let it be. Yeah. We're going to let it be. Brownberry tomato. There's another pepperoncini. Here's another tomato. I don't know what it is. Let's see. Blush cherry. That's a honey drop. That's another California Wonder bell pepper. I think this is a pepperoncini. Yep. And so is that one. We're going to have tons of pepperoncini peppers, y'all. That's okay. I love them pickled. And I've never grown potatoes before, and I had these grow bags, and look, I've got some action. I need to start covering them up with some more soil. I think I have action in 4 of them. Look, y'all, so exciting. This is the only one that doesn't have anything coming in it. I'm hoping they come up. I really do. I'm not expecting to get a huge harvest out of this, but, you know, if I get something, the potatoes were going to go thrown away anyway because they were so far gone. All right, guys. That was my garden tour. The good, the bad, and the ugly. I hope you enjoyed it. Let's come back over here and get this view. I absolutely love this view, y'all. Love it. All right. Thank you so much for watching. Go create something. Go grow something. Have a great one.